Be Mine, Chapter 3. Peter was sitting on the balcony, taking pleasure in the marvelous weather and the extravagant breakfast which lay before him, when he saw Andrey's figure walking solemnly towards him. Peter yelled, "Andrey, how beautiful this morning is! Come up here quickly, join me for breakfast." When Andrey approached, Peter did not dare lift up his eyes, for he was filled with shame because of what had just taken place between him and Kiseniya. Peter asked with concern, "Andrey, what has happened? I've never seen you so crushed." Andrey blushed in embarrassment as he described his tumultuous feelings in his room last night and everything that had happened this morning by the lake. How distraught he'd become over these events. He found it difficult to find words to explain his new state of mind. He felt exhausted from the weight of his humanness. "Dear Andrey, you've fallen in love, totally. You are simply overcome by the emotions of pure love," shouted Peter with adoration and joy. "But how is this possible? After all, I just met her yesterday. Only 2 short encounters, and my whole life has been turned upside down. Dearest Peter, my precious friend, I am absolutely lost. Yesterday morning, I knew what my life was about, down to the smallest point. I knew where I was to go and what I was to do. I was securely bound to God and His Holy Orthodox Church. After much pondering, I had determined to devote myself completely to the service of God. Perhaps I would one day become a monk. But now, suddenly, everything I planned has been destroyed. I have no idea what I should do now. All my thoughts, all my dreams, all my desires have a new focus. They are now only rotating around my Kiseniya. She fills me, every part of my being. Oh, tell me, Peter, can that be possible? Perhaps Satan has sent her to destroy my inner peace." Sobbing mightily, Peter grabbed his friend's hands and took him by both shoulders and cried aloud, "Savior, Lord, my dear Andrey, stop such thoughts. Kiseniya is a wonderful, righteous young woman. I have known her since the day she was born. As I have told you, our parents have always been close friends. She was raised by a godly mother, and her personal mentor, spiritually, from her early childhood, has been Father Seraphim. Andrey, I know you like a true brother. I have no doubt that you and Kiseniya were made by God for each other. Tonight we will ask her parents for her hand." Usually every Sunday after church, her family spends their evenings in simple amusements, such as parlor games and cards. But the main highlight of the evening is listening to Kiseniya sing or play the piano, and sometimes she quotes poems by Pushkin, which are loved by all the guests, said Peter, trying to calm Andrey. Andrey opposed Peter strongly. "Who am I to have any hope to receive a positive answer from Kiseniya's parents for her hand? And even if by a miracle they approved, why would she ever agree to leave the abundant wealth and the watchful care of her parents, or the privilege of refined society? Would she willingly leave everything to follow me? I'd be a simple priest moving to Russia to serve God and care for people. If she, even for a moment, had any feelings of love for me, I'm sure they would fade quickly in such harsh surroundings." "What are you talking about, Andrey? You don't understand what you're saying. You don't really know all the strength of Kiseniya's character. I say again strongly, I believe you were made by God for each other. If you ask among the poorest persons in this city, they would testify that Kiseniya helps and serves all of them. She knows each widow and orphan by name. She has the pride of all the parishioners of our church, insisted Peter, trying to allay Andrey's doubts. You are describing her as faultless. Are you infatuated with her yourself? Inquired Andrey. Peter continued, I think the time has come for us to be totally open with each other. But to do so, I must invite you into the next room so we will not be overheard. With a winsome, trusting smile, Peter drew Andrey into the sitting room and closed the door. Everything I share with you, you must hide from the whole world and never tell a soul what I'm going to say, unless it is said to someone who is extremely close to you and you are assured that they would never betray your confidence. Otherwise, you would end up in prison as a heretic for spreading Western ideas against the Holy Church. And since you are an Orthodox priest, you could lose everything, your parish, your possessions, and your respected religious position in society. Andrey responded, Don't frighten me, Peter. I have been very close friends with you for almost 7 years, and I thought we knew each other even more keenly than our relatives know us. No, Andrey, not quite. For the last 3 years, I have kept something hidden from you. I didn't want to damage your possibility of completing your training as a priest. I knew that you placed the highest value on your career. Do you remember 3 years ago when I disappeared for 3 days, and another time when I left the seminary for 1 week? When I came back, I begged you to never ask me what I had been doing or where I had gone. I promised you that someday I would reveal to you all those details. Probably the time has now come. I want you to understand that all of my love and all that I am belongs to someone else. To him, not the patriarch of the church, and not even to Kiseniya, quietly finished Peter, but to God. Then he bowed his head and started to whisper something. At first, Andrey could not grasp what was being said to him. He sat in stunned silence, and then he heard Peter's voice conclude in a quiet, deep prayer. What do you mean by all this? Andrey asked. While waiting the answer, it seemed so still that they could actually hear each other's hearts pounding. Then Andrey clearly understood that his friend had been concealing from him an all-encompassing, life-changing experience. In the recent past, Peter had given his life, without a doubt or reservation, in complete personal surrender to Jesus directly, not through the hierarchy of the church. Peter, I don't need to know everything or even to fully understand the details of what you've experienced, but I want your assurance, my friend, that you are not in some deep, dangerous problem. If it is difficult for you to speak your heart fully to me, then don't say anything. Just answer one question. Are you happy? Asked Andrey. But of course, Peter answered, and his face was brilliantly shining with such sparkling eyes that no additional explanation was necessary. Andrey could see and unmistakably sense that his friend was indeed a most happy person, even though he was not able to describe the transition details fully to Andrey. As Andrey gazed upon Peter's changed countenance, his own anxieties about the future were replaced by a penetrating peace in his soul. From his heart, Andrey expounded, Thank you, Peter, my friend, for telling me that the joy in your life came from Jesus and was not because of Kiseniya, who is now overshadowing my world. Peter said jubilantly, No, Andrey, my joy comes from above. I believe that someday soon I will be able to share everything that I long to express to you. I thank you for not asking me any more questions at the moment, but for now, please just continue to trust me. You are the only man on earth from whom I will never hide anything. But now is not the time to continue telling my story, because you are absolutely consumed with thoughts of Kiseniya. At this moment, I doubt your heart would be able to receive anything which is not connected to her. Suddenly, the door opened, and Countess Maria, Peter's mother, came in. There you are, my lords. We are preparing to leave for church soon, and later this evening to visit our friends. Would you like to join us? I think you would find it very pleasant to listen to Kiseniya's musical performance. Her voice is divine, and she also is a talented pianist. The Countess was, of course, not aware that her simple invitation quickly caused Andrey's body tremors and his world to spin upside down. The men accepted before respectfully bowing to the Countess and then leaving to gather their coats. Andrey, God himself is opening a door before you this day. Tonight you shall meet Kiseniya's family. You must have a private talk with my mamma beforehand and tell her everything that's troubling you. Then with a commanding voice, Count Peter Petrovich Vorontsov advised his friend once again, Tonight, Andrey, you will ask for Kiseniya's hand in marriage.